Morning world, it's Wednesday the 2nd of February 2022. It's about 7:30, 8am in the morning UK time. It's a void moon at the moment. The moon's at the end of Aquarius. The moon will change sign in a few hours time. So at 11am plus minus 1 or 2 minutes UK time this morning, the moon will move into Pisces, whole different energy pattern. The new moon will be officially over. The Mercury retrograde. Mercury stops going retrograde in under 48 hours from now. Mercury goes retrograde 7 times every 2 years on average. So it's not uncommon. Mercury is retrograde on average 75, 80 days every year. So 1 in 5 people are going to be born on a Mercury retrograde. When you use progress charts, Mercury doesn't stay retrograde for more than 25 years of a person's life. And everyone during their life, or most people during their lives, will go through a progressed Mercury retrograde for a number of years in their lives. I digress. Mercury, as we speak, is standing still conjunct Pluto. This is part of a long pattern of events concerning Pluto in the first 2 months of this year. We've had the full moon on the 17th, I think, of January, opposite Pluto. We've had the Sun conjunct Pluto. We had Venus standing still, going retrograde, conjunct Pluto earlier this year, or late last year, and at the very start of this year. And of course, we will have Mars conjuncting Pluto at the end of February. That's going to be interesting. But Pluto, I became aware of the astrological importance of Pluto, I don't know, when Pluto was in mid-Libra. But I didn't really pay it that much attention. I didn't know much about it. I didn't know enough about it to express an opinion. Bearing in mind this was the early mid-1970s when there was not a lot of literature on Pluto and its patterns were still being formed. But I certainly became aware of Pluto's importance in the early 1980s as it conjuncted Saturn at the very last degree of Libra, and then they both moved into Scorpio in 1984. And with Pluto in Scorpio, there's a lot of stuff around, okay, this is the end of the world, this is going to be the end of nuclear, this is going to be a nuclear war. That's what the old textbooks were saying. And it turned into the de-escalation of nuclear conflict. A lot of nuclear proliferation treaties were signed and a lot of weapons were disposed of. What we didn't expect was the sexual side of Scorpio to come up, because during Pluto's tenure in Scorpio from 1984 to 1995, the HIV pandemic spread around the world. It's still with us today. Much more treatable now, thank goodness. From 1995 to 2008, Pluto moved into Sagittarius. And as astrologers, we all thought, okay, well, this is the end of religion. And instead what we got was the reduction in religion, but the upsurge in fundamentalism, which is still increasing today as church attendances go down. So those remaining become basically more fundamentalist. And then Pluto moved into Capricorn in 2008, and astrologers all around the world thought, okay, transformation of government, world government. Now, as Pluto moves towards the end of Capricorn, because it will leave Capricorn, it will start leaving Capricorn next year, but it will properly have left Capricorn by the end of 2024. Capricorn's a sign of government, yes, it's the way we are ruled collectively by governments, by corporations, whether that government is national or local. But it's also the way we govern ourselves. And Pluto in Capricorn has really, I think, over the last 10 to 12 years, made it 12 to 13 years, really sort of brought clearer boundaries between the difference between what I call human beings and humans being. Those who take responsibility for their actions, for their thoughts and opinions and their lives, and others who blame or expect the state or the government to actually nurture and foster them. The whole notion of government as a overseeing protective force for good has become debatable. And now Pluto's at the end of Capricorn. It's moving into 27 degrees of Capricorn as I speak, and it will spend most of its time this year between 26 and 27, touching the start of 28 degrees of Capricorn, possibly nipping back to the very end of 25. So it's affecting a large number of people. Pluto in Capricorn is living up to its reputation, which on the positive side, on the negative side, can bring intensity and extremes, crises and trauma, obsessive and compulsive behaviour, with things like fear when you know what you're scared of, and phobia when you know that you're scared but not what of, and paranoia, which is the persecution complex. And Pluto this year is particularly having a little bit of a dig, well, more than a little bit, having a big dig at those Capricorns born from, say, the 16th, 17th, 18th of January. You're really under the microscope. And also those Cancerians born from the 18th to the 21st of July. You're the people who are really being affected by Pluto massively in this coming year. And to a slightly lesser extent, also those Aries born from the 16th to the 18th of April, and those Librans born from the 19th to the 21st of October. All of these people are being under Pluto's eye, and it is going to be a painful year. And whether that's pain in terms of external events or whether it's pain in terms of internal psychological transformation, I don't know. Pluto at its more neutral side deals with the capacity for purging and detoxing, cleansing, purifying, eliminating. It's where we go into the dark and dig up all the old ghosts from the past and bring them up to the present, transform them, release them and let them go. And then there's the positive side of Pluto, which is about transforming, regenerating, rebirthing, caterpillar into butterfly, snake shedding skin, ultimately the phoenix rising from the ashes, where we transform our lives and become much more self-confident, self-acceptant and self-believing. And there's a few people this year who are really under the positive side of Pluto. Pluto's going to be trining the sun of those Taurians born from the 17th to the 19th of May. And it's also going to be trining the sun of those Virgoans born from the 18th to the 21st of September. And in both these cases, there's going to be low level but consistent background psychological growth, development and strength coming in for these people. And even nicer, Pluto's going to be sextiling the sun of those Scorpios born from the 15th to the 7th, from the 18th to the 20th of November. And it's also going to be sextiling the sun of those Pisceans born from the 16th to the 19th of March. And if you're one of these people, then there's going to be windows of opportunity for you to consciously become the agent of change, become the agent of transformation and regeneration, and not only transform your own lives, but by doing that also help others transform their lives. The thing about Pluto is, as we see with people with Pluto in a very strong position in their chart, notably one or two presidents at the moment, if you've got a very strong Pluto in your chart, like on the ascendant or on the midheaven or conjunct or opposite or square the sun or moon, there's always this obsessive attitude towards power. You can be powerful, where you seek to control your life and perhaps the lives of people around you. But then you're trying to own the power and keep it within you and become a person who's full of power, powerful. But then the power can't move, it can't circulate, it can't flow. So it stays within and then it becomes trapped in a vicious circle inside oneself and it becomes corrupt, leading to decay, despotic and delusions of grandeur, where you think you're much more powerful than you actually are, and you get angry at the rest of the world for not recognising how strong you think you are, but the rest of the world disagrees with you. Whereas the alternative with Pluto energy is to be power filled, where the transformative urge flows through you. You become the agent of change. You are the catalyst and the channel for that power. It comes into you, circulates inside you and comes out again. And as it comes out, it goes into the lives of other people around you, making you the catalyst for their transformation, whilst at the same time transforming yourselves. Pluto is a deep energy. You cannot analyse it. I often say to people who are going through difficult Pluto transits, go and buy the Idiot's Guide or the Dummy's Guide to Psychology, because the more we use psychology to understand the motives and actions of people around us, the more we can then use that same psychology to analyse ourselves. And those people going through difficult Pluto transits often end up becoming their own best psychoanalyst. There is nothing to fear except fear itself. By going down into the dark, going into those caves at the bottom of your soul, yes, it's scary because you're revisiting old things that perhaps you'd rather not look at. But by going down there and digging them up and helping them come into the light, by purging and cleansing and purifying them, you release them, clearing up a lot of space in your hard drive for you to actually become much more of an agent for change, both for yourself and others. So with Pluto, it doesn't physically kill you, but sometimes you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. Okay, that's my homily over. Pluto 2022. Catch you later, world. Bye.